Meh. So, okay, give me a sec, I will do this. Nice. We'll stare at our own faces, but I hope it will be okay. So, guys, today, as I said multiple times on our streams before, in a month, I teased you both for a month maybe. We have a special guest today. They are both from our sound team, Ilya.
Hey.
And Dmitry.
Hello, everyone.
Ilya is our sound designer, and Ilya is a main composer of
Dima.
Oh, so sorry. I screwed up in the first seconds. It's okay. And Dima is a lead composer for Versus the Righteous.
Yes.
So today, both of them prepared some interesting materials for you. A little bit something like lectures, right? How do you just
call it a lecture?
Okay,
just like general overview.
Yeah, general overview, and they will gladly answer your questions that you asked beforehand in Discord, Twitter, Facebook, and so on, and also whatever you will ask on stream. Okay, let's wait a little bit for more people to come and just talk some general topics like introduce yourself. Like, let's start with Ilya.
Okay. Hello, my name is Ilya. What can I tell you about myself? I'm 29 years old. I've been doing sound for like 10 plus years overall. In game industry, it's about 4 years. So, yeah, like that's basic information about
How do you get in the game industry? Okay, let's.
That's an interesting question.
First of all, what kind of work with sound you did before the game industry?
Yeah, so I've been studying sound engineering for television and radio broadcasting from 2010 to 2015, and on the latest courses of my university, I worked at a television channel. That was like regular news stuff, something like this, nothing like too special. And after that, I moved to radio, and I've been doing a lot of ads there. But after that, I realized that that's not quite the thing that I really want to do. I want to do like something
cool,
creative. Yeah, cool, basically. And yeah, I started to think about getting into game audio, but it's kind of hard because, like in Russia, the industry is not that big. Like I don't know, like in Europe, like in USA, and so and even education for game audio, it's like.
Hard to come by.
Yeah, definitely. So I was fortunate that I had a chance to go and study abroad. So I went to Vancouver Film School for a year. I've been studying sound design and game audio, especially there for a year, like full time. And that was absolutely like life-changing experience and decision, and I'm super happy about this. And after that, I moved back to Russia, and with that kind of diploma and portfolio, I got my first game audio job. Before that, yeah, I did a couple small mobile projects, but that's basically it. Yeah, that's about me.
Okay, and you, Dima, what did you do before game industry, and then how do you get your first dream job, or maybe not so dream? Brace yourself.
Before game industry, I work in the concerts.
Like in opera or maybe symphony music.
Yes, I have education, music education, and I learned choir performance. I singer. I multi-instrumentalist. I sing on the concerts, other concerts.
First question: how many instruments you can play? Like 10 or maybe even more?
I play on piano, keyboards, other keyboards, accordion, different percussions,
Okay, that's like
different
okay.
strings instruments such as guitars, acoustic guitars, electric guitars.
Okay.
So how many?
I counted 9 as of now, but I think we can go higher. Okay, nice.
Yes, but it is a so long time for this.
Okay, and how do you get into the game industry?
Yeah, okay. I want to talk how many time ago I worked in the game industry.
Mm-hmm.
I work in the game industry more than 10 years.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Okay.
I write
This dude has some
I
experience.
write music for many Russian projects, worldwide projects, such as Pathfinder Kingmaker. I work with Inanzur. Yes. Armored Warfare. I work with Chris Velasco. Maybe you know this composer. Armored Warfare. And this is my famous project. I work in this project since a long time.
Yeah, I got it.
I write music for Skyforge. This is a very big Russian project. I work about 3 years in this game. I write more than 100 compositions.
Really?
100?
100? Like
This is
100
how
more
many
than
hours?
100.
How many hours of music?
3 years I work in this project. Oh, hours I don't remember. It's like,
Okay, if we say that in general every composition it's like a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes. It's like 200 minutes. It's 3.5.
3
that's
minutes.
It is just mind
3
blowing.
minutes. One composition about 3 minutes. 2 or 3.
just for
I would die
Could see,
if I would try to do this.
have other video materials. I write music for other video materials.
Like trailers.
Yes.
Okay.
And cutscenes.
Okay.
Cutscene, в общем.
yeah, cutscenes overall. Just for comparison, 10 years ago, I was in school. Like, no joke, I was in school in high school 10 years ago. So this is quite an experience.
Same thing applies to me.
Yeah, it did. No, you was not in school. You was like in university. You were 19. No?
I was about to go to university.
Okay, got it. So, but both of you are
What
worked.
was the first course? Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Both of you are worked on Kingmaker, right?
No, I didn't. I joined the team somewhere in the middle of the development of Pathfinder of Wrath of the Righteous. Maybe a bit earlier, like somewhere between alpha and beta milestones.
But you explored the sound of the Kingmaker while you were working on Wrath of the Righteous, right? Like
Yeah,
how this game and what both of you can say about differences between first and the second game in terms of music, of course, and the sound. Okay, let's start with Dima this time.
Breath of the Righteous, this is a different setting. Different. This is a different mood of music. In Breath of the Righteous, we have demons, blood, other battles. This is epic music. This is epic fight music with epic choirs, with epic instruments, with melody work wells with horns or trumpets. This is a
basically it's more epic.
yes, epic moods. A Kingmaker, this is a light mood with different ethnic
More like fairy
instruments.
tale.
Yes, ethnic mood.
Yeah, political fairy tale.
Okay, it's a slight political twist. Let's call it that way.
You're just a baron and you need to walk around your way in country. Yeah, slightly political, like no message here. And what about just pure sound design perspective? How these both games differ between each other?
Okay, basically the idea is the same. Kingmaker was about like this forests, open fields, open wide area, unexplored. And here in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, it's way darker. It's like deserts filled with demons, with crazy things happen behind every corner, and things like this. That's the basic difference, and the sound obviously reflects it, because like if we're going to talk about ambiences, let's say, like what you would expect to hear in like forest, like birds, like trees creaking, like pretty simple natural stuff.
Water sounds.
In water you're gonna hear a lot of different things. For example, like we used a lot of like drones and swells and other like things that makes our ambiences way more mysterious, way more
dreadful. I would say.
Dreadful, definitely, yes. And of course, like you can hear like demon roars somewhere, like in, I don't know, 2 kilometers from you. It's like far away, but you hear it's there. So it's all about this dreadful thing.
So you're starting to buff yourself because, oh god damn it, these
definitely.
demons again, please pray, let's some spell, let's go,
И не его травись.
So you are kind of responsible for wasting buffs from our players, and
To a certain point.
god damn it. I think I know people, maybe a person or two who would like to meet you personally in some dark corner where you can run for.
Okay, I'm not the only one who's responsible for this. To be fair.
And for you, Dima, I got a lot of questions about your work, but most of the people they just didn't have any questions for you. They just wanted to say thank you for your work, even in the chat, like, yeah, Ion theme, god damn it, yeah, and so on, as you can see from Lassily.
I see Ion theme. This is
Ion
a
theme,
popular
yeah.
composition in the game.
Of course, because it like grabs you by your gut from the very beginning. So of course it's one of the maybe fan favorites themes in the game. Of course, other Mythic Path music, some music from maybe location is mentioned quite often too. So I will die for the Devil theme. I will fight to death to for people to understand that this is great music and so on. I even have some fun edits with our I know gaming moments under this theme, because with this theme, because it was just fun thing to do with this music. У нас была in Anki too. Azata theme, for example. Trickster theme is mentioned quite often as a great theme because of how good it captures the vibe of the character, the vibe of the adventure.
It definitely stands out compared to other themes.
From what else? Okay, I'm quite a fan of Legend theme, for example. So most of the time people just, I think this guy is good, we have nothing to ask, but just compliment his music because we spent a lot of time with this. A lot of people said that they listened it off game, like they saved it. Did we release this already on the platforms? I think we did, like Spotify. Or is it not released yet?
I don't quite sure. I know that there was a process about this.
Yeah.
But I don't know, was it done or not?
Okay, but
This is in the process.
but I think
You probably know it better.
Many compositions I upload on my YouTube channel.
yeah, and people just downloaded them directly from there and run with it. Or just maybe took it from the game files and just edited them for the custom playlists and so on and so on. So yeah, if people want to kill you, Ilya, most of the time for
Like seriously.
it's my first time here, why? And but people only want to commend you and say thank you a lot. So let's start with what people love.
Thank you, people.
And as I said earlier, there will be some interesting things that our guest wanted to say, and this is like a little lecture. So we will start with Dima. You can ask questions when he will maybe said something different, difficult to understand, and so on and so on. We will collect them and then answer them at the end of his lecture. So let's, I think, go. Let's do this. And
but let's check out that they actually can hear us when we're gonna play.
Yeah.
Because like we need to check this thing.
I think they can, but guys, we will to take a closer look to the chat. So if something went wrong with sound, like you will not hear us or you will not hear the music in the video, tell us and we will fix it right away. So Dima, the floor is yours. I think we can go.
And
You need your phones. And I think you too, because I have no idea how this works.
Now I talk about how I build my workflow and which setup I use. First, I have two powerful PCs that are combined into one working system using the Vienna Ensemble Pro program. This is a Vienna Ensemble Pro program. Yes.
Right
No, right now I don't think so. There is no audio right now.
Okay.
I can to continue.
Yeah. Sorry. Let's go.
This is a main music sequencer. I have a main music sequencer. This is a Cubase Pro 11. With these two programs, such as a Cubase and Vienna, I create music. I have many orchestral templates consisting of many orchestral groups, such as a string section, brass section, percussions. We see percussions. This is a big section. Choirs with different solo voices, and we have solo instruments, strings, and other woodwinds. My templates are uploading with many tons of gigabytes of sample libraries. This is a virtual instruments. I have many different virtual instruments. Mainly this is orchestral instruments. Okay, now I will show you how I create music. I start writing music on piano, first on piano. And after that, I'm doing the orchestration. Now we are listening. Piano parts. Okay.
And
this is piano parts. For example, this is Eon theme, as you know.
Yeah, we do know.
I write in piano parts. I write music on piano. Yes. Okay. This is our piano sample library. Okay. I want to say that main string section, this is a main for me as a this is a main, can be various rhythmic textures, factors, or other melodies. String section is the base of orchestra for me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. This this can be various short strokes, such as the spiccatos. Okay. Next, I use brass or woodwinds groups. Melody works well with horns or trumpets. We hear brass, we hear horns and trombones. Okay. If I need string section, I give the melody two violins.
Like solo strings.
No, this is violins groups
okay.
or cellos.
Okay.
No, but solo strings work well too. Works well too. Yes, we hear melodies or violins. This is epic melodies with brass. Okay, and now we listening all mix with all groups, with brass, strings, woodwinds, percussions, choir, voices, different and all mix.
Okay, it's about technical progress.
About technical. This is a simple technical.
Technically, I don't understand.
This is we have a melody,
what about
simple melody, other rhythmic textures, harmony factors. This is a simple.
But
And ticking clock sounds.
but that's already that's not technical moment. It's a creative moment. How you come up with this clock sound and
Ticking clock sounds.
let's wait until it finishes. I'm not quite sure that we can be heard through this powerful orchestra.
Yes, piano. This is the main instrument in the theme. This is a finally.
Okay,
It's all.
you covered
No.
your
And I.
technical parts.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about creative things because
Okay,
I guess
okay.
that's what our viewers want to hear from us.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Mm,
how you come up with this melody for A on T?
I think
Okay.
I can interrupt you for a moment because most of the people are interested in just creative things, but a lot of like people who are also into music and want to compose by themselves like this type of stuff because down the line they imitate it to maybe refine and define their own style of music. So, for example, I know a nice YouTube channel who make a lot of music which sounds like a Doom Eternal soundtrack, and he dissects every single lecture or piece of information that Mick Gordon gave up to the public. So this type of stuff is also interesting, I would argue. But yeah, creative type of side of things. How you come up with the idea of clocks and this epic piano music for I don't know, for Aeon theme, like for example.
I want to talk about how I create music for all Mitnik Path themes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Even better. Even better.
I want to talk about futures of creating music for this is popular. This is the most popular themes in the game. Okay. First point. All Mitnik Path themes have a main instrument, main solo instrument. As example, in one theme, this is a piano.
Of course.
In demonic themes, such as demon theme, I use the hard electric powerful guitars and other different distortion sounds. In Azata theme, I use the harp and flutes. Lich has a harpsichord, and it's simple. Second point, each character has a bright melody. Third point,
for example, each character, what kind of each character in the game or each character in a mythical themes?
Mythic character.
Okay.
Yes,
Like
each
there is
character
distinctive
have a
melody
bright
for
melody.
each
Yes.
I got it.
Third point, I use unique orchestral technicus as example in Gold Dragon theme. I use I give violins playing trills strokes, and flutes are duplicated the same strokes, and harp arpeggios on rising harp arpeggios playing on top, and this is create a mood of flying dragon flying. And this is works well with our dragon.
And just a question for my colleague Gala, who is a fan of Azata. Can you tell more about how do you compose this theme? What kind of instruments do you use and so on?
In Azata, main instruments, this is a harp and flute. This is a adventure, main mood of this adventure, and with ethnic moods.
Ethnic? What kind of ethnic? Like
ethnic with flutes and ethnic percussions.
So much like more European ethnic, like West Europe or something like that, or am I wrong?
This is
just ethnic, just
ethnic.
I just used whatever.
I hear this. This is how I understand ethnics. I write as I see this, as I hear this.
So, okay, you're not like aiming to use like specific music mode like Latvian, like and other modes. You just write as you hear. That's why
yes.
I understand. You're not like aiming for, yes, this theme I'm going to write in this specific key, in this...
You're right.
So it's much more exploring way to write a music. You don't have a rigid plan. You like you try to what if I do this, what if I do this, and then combine your findings. Am I right or am I wrong? Like... Ну, короче, ты больше исследуешь, там, как повезет, типа, я сделаю вот так, так и так, потом сложу. Или у тебя с самого начала есть план?
No, I don't have a plan.
Man of culture!
I have a piano. Mm-hmm. I have a task. Mm-hmm. I have a media materials. I see all of these things. Mm-hmm. And I... improvisation. Yeah, improvisation. I have improvisation on my keyboard, and I searching mood, right mood. Yes, and I do my work, my creative process. This is simple. So
let me interrupt. I just wanna give you an idea what how it looks like from the other side, because in most of cases with composers working with sound designers, because we like mediators between creative director and the composer. So creative director, he gives us a direction, and we're looking for references, and we're looking for specific mood, and after that we combine all these things together and send them to a composer, to Dima, for example.
Yes, we have references.
Yeah, and after that...
there is so much pain in this phrase. Yeah, we have references. yeah. They definitely.
Yeah, it's not like 100% like right process. I mean, it's not
not as a rigid process.
Yeah, definitely. So. Basically, what Dima does, he looks at all these references, all these ideas, and trying to make his own interpretation of this mood, of these feelings. And that,
right.
So
you're just like this 14 years old girl on Pinterest who creates a mood board, and then
basically
some talented people create a. I'm so sorry. You can beat this later after the stream.
We're gonna have a talk.
But for this hour and a half, I'll have fun.
Okay.
Okay. A question from the Discord, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Have you considered creating a second copy of the soundtrack with extended loops? Like, for example, maybe make a theme longer without maybe any additional, or maybe even just an extended OST as well. Anything like that. Crossed your mind? Do you have any thoughts about this? Like, for example, if I remember correctly, Devil theme, I listen to this theme more than I should. Longs about 2 minutes. But there is some, feeling that I would want this theme to maybe 4, maybe in 5 minutes, like a full song. Do you have any ideas or maybe even thought about it?
We don't... мы не имеем возможности написать на 4 минуты.
У нас
есть,
there is a budget. There is a budget.
Yes.
And
our creative director say me, Dmitry, you must create
the right mood in 2 minutes.
Only 2 minutes. Don't create them for 4 minutes. No.
So the musical thought has to be finished in 2 minutes.
Yes.
We can afford like
is
doing
about 2
4
minutes.
Yeah, or some guys with baseball bats will show up at your doorstep and will cut your music.
Yes, I want to more music.
Yeah. Okay.
Such as a composer.
If we're not going to talk about budget constraints, there is also time constraints and the amount of music that needs to be written for such a big game as Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. It's like pretty tremendous. Let's be honest, we've got like...
I saw this lingering F on your lips and thought like, okay.
What have you seen? And yeah, as far as I remember, we've got around 140 minutes, 50 minutes, like overall soundtrack for Wrath of the Righteous. And initially it was planned to be around 120 minutes. So we already overcome the constraints that we've got.
More than 2 hours of all soundtracks.
Yeah, so and also it's quite hard to write that big amount of music like during 2 or 3 years.
Like of time.
2 years.
Yeah,
I
2
worked
years.
about 2 years.
Yeah, even if we're going to consider that we have in Wrath we've got like 2-3 composers. You?
3 composers.
Pasha
I'm Mikhail
Perepelitsa.
Kotov, Pavel Perepelitsa.
And Kotov, yeah.
Okay.
Nice comment from the chat. 24 hours lo-fi loop of Lich theme for study. Here, like maybe you know, on YouTube there is an endless stream with lo-fi hip-hop for studying, for background. So people are joking that they want something like this with Wrath of Righteous music.
Hip hop on the background of Lich theme.
Yes.
Or main theme, or I don't know. This is a very hard task for me. No. I think about this, but
Okay.
this is I have.
Do you
time
remember
for this.
Kingmaker's main theme? Kingmaker's main theme, written by Inanzur. So our lead sound designer, Sergey Yebo, he did chiptune covering it, and we posted it on our socials.
Okay, I understand what.
Okay.
Yeah, so I definitely would expect from him to do something like lo-fi hip-hop cover on the main theme. If you are not up for the task.
Can you gent a devil theme?
Sergey already.
Like way lower.
Yeah.
Sergey already created the cover of main theme on Vosin.
I think this question is more for Ilya because after the release of Mass Effect, Beaver revealed that Reaper sounds were actually made with trash cans. Any such fun facts about the sound effects of Wrath of the Righteous? But I think sound effects, it's your department.
That's our next topic. We're gonna dig into this thing.
So
don't worry.
just wait a little more. Any another good questions? Maybe here. I don't think I am able to ask that I am allowed to ask this question. But any plans for DLC in terms of music? Do you write any music for DLCs or something like that?
Yes, we will.
I think first word from him. Can I talk about? Because I have no idea. Can I talk about it?
The thing is that I don't know as well.
So good.
I know our plans, but I don't know. Are we supposed to talk about it or not?
I don't think that.
I had a future task about music for this already.
Dima, come on.
Okay, nice. No one clip it, and no one, please don't show us.
Definitely.
Don't show us. Don't
I
show
do
it
believe
for.
in you, chat. You do not clip this.
Okay, so yeah, we do have plans for new music, and you don't clip it because. Why I'm just saying that we will put it over the whole stream on YouTube, so it's kind of pointless to ask to not clip it. Okay, let clip it. Okay, heavy metal Demon Team remix. How is angry snarling lyrics? Warsaw Righteous has one of the best soundtracks in a game the last couple of decades. Thank you. And
Thank you.
I remembered the question for maybe all of us, and let's start with Ilya this time. What is your maybe top 3 best soundtracks that you remember from games? And Pathfinder games are banned. You can't say Warsaw Righteous. This is too much cheese to use it.
Okay.
Top 3. And you can't use your work.
That's actually hard
Any of your work.
Okay.
I would say that, yeah. I do really like Darren Korp's Transistor.
God damn it, it was my answer!
Yeah, because it's awesome.
It's awesome.
That's all I can say. And
You can say more more soundtracks from Superstar. Supergiant. Yeah. You take Transistor, I will take another one. Just one for you. You name 2 more soundtracks.
Okay.
Because it will be too easy. Transistor, Bastion hates. Got it.
Yeah.
Easy. No. You will not no come up with this easy.
Let me think. Really. I need a minute.
And you need a minute,
Dima.
okay? What about you, Dima? Top 3 of soundtracks in the game industry, not including your work. Because we know your work is good, but maybe something interesting from other games. Топ 3 саундтрека из других игр. Какие тебе нравятся больше всего?
I very like soundtracks of Wind and Zurs. My favorite soundtrack of Crysis, first part.
From the game Crysis, right?
Yes.
Oh,
I love music of Borislav Slavov. I like.
Wait,
Crysis.
music for Crysis was written by Russian or Ukrainian author or what? Because I have no idea.
No.
That he's Ukrainian or Russian, just Slavic.
Just Slavic name?
Borislav Slavov is Bulgarian composer.
Bulgarian, yeah.
He write music for Baldur's Gate 3. He write music for Divinity Original Sin 2.
Okay.
He worked with Larry.
With those guys.
Also, I like music of Ramin Djawadi.
Did he wrote something for
I
games?
also have a lot of examples from cinema, from TV series that I like, but we got asked about game music, and that's kind of complicated.
Game music.
Okay, I just don't want to go with like super generic and super popular answer. Yeah, I like Doom. Of course I like it, but I don't want to go with that answer.
Okay, I will go with what? Of course, I too love music from Supergiant games. I will take Hate, because Transistor is taken.
I know FX, but I don't listen this soundtrack.
I would highly recommend you to
especially
check it.
Hades, the duet. Alpheus and
Eurydice, yeah. This song is Jesus Christ. I don't Ashley something. It's her name. This same woman who performed songs in Transistor, and she's a Eurydice in Hades. She's like a returning voice for the Supergiant games. So yeah, I would take Hades, of course. I would take, of course, Doom, but as I said, it's
Doom.
Everyone likes Doom.
I will skip it. I like music from Bloodborne. I think I never played Bloodborne games, but I listen to this soundtrack quite regularly.
Is it going to be a cheat to say that I like music from Journey because there is no music?
Wait, Journey is the game with like sand and so on and so on? I remember this game. Yeah, I saw a funny comic about this game in Ctrl-Alt-Delete. Who knows? Who knows? You can Google it later. It's a fun comic about gaming, and
God damn it! I got it. I remember it. Ori and Will of the Wisps and the first game. I just forgot the name of the first game, but this soundtrack is amazing, especially in the first
Ori
game.
Have a good soundtrack.
It's
amazing
crazy
soundtrack.
good, and it's crazy good implemented into the game because there is a level. There is a gauntlet when you have to go up the tree, and there is a water goes up, and it's pretty hard section. You have to learn it to master it, and
so it's your typical water level.
Yeah, but the cool thing about music there is that whenever you die, the music do not stop. It just keeps going, and it gives you that momentum to keep trying. Because I spent a lot of attempts in this section of the game. Yeah,
it's okay. You're good in sound and bad in games. It's okay. I'm gonna run after the stream. Like there is no way you will not beat me up after this. And the third game, I have my a soundtrack that will contend with Supergiant and Doom as equal. There is a game, maybe you heard of it, Warhammer 40k Mechanicus, and this sound.
That's a good one.
Cool soundtrack.
Because as Mandalorian said, most of the time music have like bass drop or something like this. And
the soundtrack
has organ drops.
Organ drops and bass drops every bar basically.
Yeah. So yes, it's like a perfect mix between pipe music, classical music, and just electro trash and synth music. And I'm a fan of both of the themes, and all of them combined in Warhammer 40k universe is something I adore. Okay, in the chat, Disco Elysium when? Yeah, understandable. Koji Kondo, Yoko Shinamura, I have no idea who they are.
Look at me!
I once was on a live concert of the composer of Silent Hill music.
Yeah. I love Silent Hill music.
I don't know. I've got complicated questions about this music because it's hard for me to call it music, like with all respect.
I love this game.
Yeah, personally, like Ori, just before you said it. So yeah, a lot of good music. Legend of Zelda. Never played Legend of Zelda.
I'm not a Nintendo boy. Sorry.
I will die before I will take a Nintendo device in my hand.
That's a weird thing. Like, let's say,
guys, we are from Russia. Like, there is
no Nintendo.
There is like 5 Nintendo Switches. In the whole Russia, maybe 2 more in Ukraine and 1 in Belarus. So yeah, games of Nintendo, what? Never played this.
We will have strong army.
Yeah.
And we will have a Lada.
Okay.
Paul Romero's music from Might and Magic 3 Heroes. Pretty good one.
That's a good classic choice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great, but again, it's calling this as a great soundtrack. It's the same like saying Doom is a great soundtrack. Yes, that's an obvious thing.
Jeez, before you shaved me about it, I was seriously thinking about saying Doom on with serious face. Like, yeah, nice soundtrack, guys. And you just shamed me into oblivion. Okay, let us take a pause for maybe like a 5 minutes to refill our water, for Ilya to beat me up, and we'll come back later with a second lecture and a second block of questions and discussion, more focused on the sound design, how it works, what is it, what is like how it's created, and so on, and just for more questions. And for now, just a 5 minutes pause. Okay, I think we're back, aren't we? Yes. For now, Dima is kind of absent. He's fighting for his life versus coffee machine. So me and Ilya, I think I don't need to translate your name. Just Ilya.
Don't try. Even in Canada, I've been using my name. I tried like Elijah and other different options. It doesn't work. Just Ilya and Ilya. That's it.
Okay. Sorry. You won, and you're alive. It's all that matters. Okay. While we were gone, Paul Romero is amazing, right? I also like the music of Andrew Praglo from Outer Wilds. Yeah, music from Outer Wilds, not No, Outer Worlds, not the game from
yeah,
the...
that's always confusing.
The Outer Wilds, this indie game with space exploration when there is like a hedgehog, right? Day, or how it's called? Day Surka, I don't remember, not hedgehog. Okay, when when the day just loops, and you are in a loop and you're trying to solve some logic mysteries in the system. It's a nice game. If you never heard of it, you can maybe at least try to. I heard, yeah.
Computer sounds, ambient sounds.
Any of you fans of Overclocked Remix? It's a site that does remixes of video games music. Couple of famous composers like Jeremy Soule have submitted tracks, remixing other composers like Nobuo Uematsu. I really hope I never butcher the name of the Final Fantasy series. I never heard of it, but I think it's something you know about or you're aware about.
Do you know about this? I've never heard of it. Actually, that's you know about it.
No.
Yeah. Okay, we will explore it later.
Actually, thank you. That's a good thing to know.
Yeah, good
But
thing
I
to.
love music, Jeremy Soule, but no.
But here is the thing. It's about remixes. So basically, how I understood it, it's like a composer submitting a remix, and just his music.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see you the question. It's a site that does remixes of video game music. A couple of famous composers like Jeremy Soule have submitted tracks, remixing other composers like Nabao.
No, I think.
Series.
Yeah.
So it's like a composer submitting a track, and this site does.
No. It's just a big repository of remixes, and sometimes famous composers add something from them, like for example, like if Dima created a remix for I don't know, music from Disco Elysium, and he put it here, and Dima put some music on this site. So it's not like you propose, hey, make a remix on my music. You put a lot of remixes here. We will take a look at. I hope I understood this correctly.
Let's not spend time. I mean, that's definitely an interesting thing. I definitely would check it out.
Yeah, I would want to look it out. Too.
Let's move on.
Okay. Let us now move to a second part of our stream in terms of elections, and Ilya will take a swing at all this.
Could you pause it?
Wait, yeah, I'm sorry. Yep.
Yeah, because
and you too maybe.
Huh?
And you too maybe because
No.
Okay, let me. Okay, I will ask you stupid questions for chat.
Like you always do.
Okay. That was fair.
Do not start the video. I just going to start like with a bit of introduction about what I'm going to talk about. So we already talked about music. We know how important it is to set the mood of allocation of a game, of a scene, and so on. But imagine if you would play music like every single second of your gameplay. You would be bored like in, I don't know, 10 minutes. So in this case, ambiences of the location comes to fill these gaps between music tracks. And it's all these ambiences, they are also about setting the mood and tell you little stories that happen in this location, like the surroundings. And it's also necessary for immersion, like music. Music sets the mood, and then it needs to be silent for a moment, like for 30 seconds, and this is where ambiences comes into play. So my first video that I'm going to show you is going to be about ambiences. We're going to talk about ambience in Dresden. The topic that I'm going to cover here is pretty simple and basic, and this concept on a technical level applies on every single location in the game. But Dresden is quite complicated.
Because of the sheer size of the location,
it's
of,
not about
of how much
size.
happening in the typical city, you need to
That's
take
just
an account.
a layer of it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Okay, let me start with the video, and after I will tell you.
Godspeed.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go. So yeah, in almost every location in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, we have at least two time of the day setups. Like right now we're hearing day ambience in Dresden. So there is some wind action going over here outside the city, and whenever you moves into the city, voila, I mean all this mumbling from the people of the city comes in. And also you can hear like there is a mallet, I don't know, like a blacksmith working.
Follow my steps.
All of these just small little stories that tells you about your surroundings, what's going on, and these things then they're really important for immersion, because imagine this city would be silent. It would feel dead for me at least. So
Empty, maybe.
empty, not alive.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't
Like
believe
a
in
plastic city, like not a
it. Yeah,
real
and
one.
here we come to the like this inner yard, and all the wall goes down. Let me pause it a bit. And there are a lot of things that happen in the background. So we have ambiences like loops, like wind howling, like wind gasp, like crickets in the night ambience. And also we have how we call it specs. It's all this little story, like specs. Yeah. Like blacksmith working, like someone opened the door with a doorbell. And for example, if there is a dog barking on the left side, there is a chance that a pack of dogs
Will
answer them. Yeah.
So
that's so basically all these things they are meant to create unrepetitive, basically. I forgot the word.
Unrepetitive atmosphere of the city.
Of the
so
city.
every time you enter the city, is something else.
Something
like
different. You will never hear the same thing again, because it's generated real time. It's pretty random, but with its own logic, obviously.
So, like for example, the chance of the pack of the dog answering. How big is the chance, or you just don't remember from the top of your mind? Top of your mind. Like for example.
Every sound has a chance to be triggered every 9 seconds, as far as I recall, and the chance to be played every 9 seconds is about 25-30%. So and on top of that.
So it's dice all over again.
It's again, numbers. And after that, there is also a chance that the sound won't be played, because there is a limit for all these little things to appear. So it won't clutter the mix. So for example, in Dresden, it might be played 3 or 4 specs these little sounds simultaneously. But actually they're being triggered way more frequently. So it's pretty complicated and random. I will show you a bit of the system, like from the audio engine. I have a little section about this.
Okay, go off.
Yeah. Okay, night ambience. The same concept applies here. We have like these loops, how we call it beds, and we also have specs, these little sounds that appear here and there. Yeah, basically that's it about night ambiences in terms of like its technical realization. And yeah, I think we can skip about
I hear the spec of the like something like what, like a wagon coming through. It was like 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, that's possible. I do not remember every single sound that I put there. Like, okay, and now, as I mentioned, Ambience has couple different, let's call it, layers. And the very first layer is like only looping beds. Basically, in every location we have from 2 to 4 loops. They're around like 30, maybe 20, maybe 40 seconds. And whenever you enter the location, each loop starts from the random point. So one loop starts from 20 seconds, another one from 10 seconds from the beginning of the loop, and so on and so on and so on. And again,
so still every time you come here, you listen to something slightly different.
Slightly different ambiences.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. So right now in the video there's only this looping bed, so you hear there is no footsteps for this citizen here, and we do not hear these creatures and so on. And now only specs, like that's all these little sound stories that happens in the location. And also there is randomness where it appears. In front of you, from the left, from right, from behind. It's again, I will show you these things.
Yes, answer them!
So you heard it.
Yeah, because first time dog started to bark and no one answered, and the second time
there is a chance that a pack of dogs will answer.
And if I hear this correctly, dog started to bark from another direction, so it's like a triangle of dogs. First dog barked no one, second dog from
theoretically it's possible because there are three
directions,
three dog sounds in this poll that can be played.
So they're from different
positions. About positions, we're gonna talk
Let's go
a bit later. My great thing. Okay. Play, please. Oh, okay. So here is our audio engine, WWise. Yeah, it's pretty popular.
It's interesting.
I would say it's the most popular audio engine that being used in game industry, especially in big projects. So again, here we're hearing only these looping bed sounds, like, and I'm going to solve it like there is only air, like just light movement of air, like wind gusts, and there is a crickets, like, because we need something to give you an impression that it's actually night in the location at the moment. So crickets, it's like
a big deal, yeah.
Yeah, it's just not a big deal. It's just a way to go. It's like super obvious and it works well. That's it.
Yeah, you're right.
It does the job. So now we're moving to specs. So Jazz and Peaceful Night specs, and as you can see, there are 5 speakers, and there are path names. 5 speakers, yeah, because the games have to support surround speakers setups. Yeah, we know that there is like 5-7% of users actually playing with surrounds or like pseudo surrounds, like 7.1 headphones, like emulations and things like this. But we have to support it, and the thing
it's nice to work like when half your work it's just for like 3 people in America and 2 in Germany.
It has to be done. This is how it works, and without this we wouldn't be certified to be released on consoles. That's actually their requirement as well.
Sony and Microsoft overlords. Yeah, right.
So, talking about the positions. So, there are 8 random points that I placed over these speakers. And every time sound is called, you see there is a thing checked, pick new path, then sound starts. So every time when sound actually got played, it chooses one of the random positions, so you can see it on the screen. So right now from here another sound is going to play from left surround, and next sound will appear from somewhere else, like right now in the middle.
Behind you.
Yeah, and don't worry, you can hear it in headphones because there is such thing as down mix, and everything that goes to these 5 speakers also translates into stereo speakers and in headphones. And if something happening behind you in the left surround speaker, you will hear it in headphones, like from the left, not from behind, but from the left. But if you're using like 7.1 and other like that kind of headphones, you also will be hear these things.
Okay. No, kind of logical, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, and keep showing like this random positioning.
I just can from this comment in the chat, like crickets or maybe locusts, cute with cover waifu noises.
We're going to talk about locusts a bit later. Okay, yeah, let's move on. And about indoor locations, all the same things applies as we discussed about exterior locations. And here in Church of Iomidai in Dresden, same thing happening technically as in exterior, but sounds are different. Like here, you hear, as far as I remember, there is like door knocking, like some distant footsteps and things like this. And also, there is music.
Was it this music was composed by you, or it was just taken as a sound effect?
It was composed by Sergei.
By Sergei Ebok.
Yeah. And there is a small Easter egg.
Okay, show me.
Tread lightly.
I would say our good old loyal fans definitely should remember this. Let's just listen.
Okay, let's go. Is this the main theme, right? Or what?
Yes.
Did I get this correctly?
Yeah, you do get this correctly. There is a chance for intro of. Okay, I played it for you again, Dima. There is a chance that in Church of Medai in Dresden,
organ.
Yeah, intro of the main team from Kingmaker will be played. Yeah, that's a small Easter egg from Sergei as well, because he did all these small little tunes that are played.
I hope you know that tune by heart. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
PowerPoint skills on display. Woo.
Actually, this is not PowerPoint. This is Reaper, digital audio workstation. But I found a way to make.
Reaper?
Yeah, I work in Reaper.
I love Cubase.
I worked in Cubase
Such as
like
Hans Zimmer loved
7-8
Cubase.
years ago.
And you have 3 more videos to show. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, let me switch.
This is cool location.
Yeah, so talking about Alshinira, it's way different than Dresden. Obviously, there is all these lava emitters and all these islands building moving. Dude, I spent so much time making this. Yeah, Alshinira was quite a challenge. I would say the second the most challenging location in the game, sound-wise.
I don't think it's only sound-wise. I think
yeah,
level designers,
level
game
design,
designers,
art,
all of them
yeah.
struggled a lot with Illusioneer.
So technically, sound-wise, here's happening absolutely the same thing. Just the sounds are like completely different, and that's take us back to the very beginning of our stream that we were talking about, like how weird and like dreadful sounds for these games for this game have to be. Illusioneer is a perfect example of it, because here when you walk in on these streets, you can hear like whip snap and slaves crying. You can hear like weird drones and like demon roars and things like this. So yeah, Illusioneer sounds way different than Dresden, but yeah, that's another thing about Illusioneer, that everything is moving and everything has a sound. And I have a hint for you. We've heard that many players struggles to navigate through Illusioneer. Like, it's complicated to understand how I should turn the camera to make these things moving. Actually, sound can help you. For example, in Medium City, if you turn your camera and you, for example, you don't see if it's moving or not, but you actually can hear it. Because whenever island starts moving, it has this rumble sound that's going closer to you, and whenever bridges crosses, it stops, it has an impact sound and so on. So if you lost, you can use your ears to actually understand if it's going or not towards you or opposite, but at least you will get that feedback.
You're saying that if I get like 2 or 3 at the end of music school in solfeggio, I am screwed in Illusioneer, right? Like
No, it's not about music theory at all.
no theory, because not in singing, because if you has bad ear and you have trouble with understanding
there is
sound.
only an option, like you actually can just move your camera and look
and
with your
see,
eyes. But there is also an option to understand this thing with your ears.
Illusioneer sound support is my favorite in game, and Pavel prepared tracks to Illusioneer battle theme.
Yeah, he did a really good job on these themes.
Maybe you can like step in as Pavel and talk about
Have you
those
heard
themes.
Illusioneer themes?
It sounds great.
I'm a simple Russian composer. I just like stuff from my colleagues. Just what can you say?
Yes, Pavel is very cool composer.
You had an experience to work together with Pavel on some teams, not for this game, but you had an experience to work with this guy, and he's a cool dude.
Yes.
That's it.
we know how to do our work.
Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, we can
Continue, I think.
with Illusioneer. I think we can.
We're done.
We're done with Illusioneer.
Okay.
I just want to go back to Dresden, and I do not have prepared video of these things that I'm going to talk about, but I just want to let you know that. So whenever you choose your mythic, and in chapter 5 you do like full transformation after summit of. I forgot how to properly name that event, but you get that.
Something like
It's
that.
like right after beginning of the chapter. And every mythic in some ways change the way how the Dresden look like.
Yeah. I wanted to ask it about it. Like if I went with Leech,
well.
if I went with Leech, should be no dogs, no people chanting. There should be like
there is no dogs.
like
There is no people. There is
scary
only
spooky skeletons only.
Yeah, like only zombie moans and things like this. And the crowd changing for every evil mythic. The crowd sound will change. For Locust, you will have Vescavors everywhere, and you will hear them. And also there are like piles of slimes on the walls everywhere in the Dresden. And if you zoom into the slime, you will hear these slimes. So yeah, we we did pretty big job on like adapting Dresden soundscape according to your Mythic Pass. Obviously, not every Mythic Pass has that drastic changes as Locust, for example. But Azata, for example, has this like little forest in the city, and if you go there, you actually will hear like wind rustle, like leaves rustle, sorry, tree creaks and things like that.
Good question from the chat. What does slime sound like in real life? What did you use to make the sound of slime?
That's a really good question, because as you remember, in the beginning of the stream, someone asked about
funny effects.
And how did we record them and get them. So slime sounds like a cat food.
What?
Like literally.
What?
When I was a student,
I just don't know the word.
Recorded
cat food?
I recorded cat food.
Cat food.
Cat food. Yeah, basically there was a bowl full of cat food, like slimy. Yes, I recorded it with my own hands. I was messing this thing, and this is how slime in the game sounds.
Wait, but this sound from your students' years, right?
Yeah.
Why did you do that? What did
Because that's absolutely normal. Why not? You're collecting sounds through
your whole entire career, and then you use it when it comes up.
Whenever an opportunity rises, you use it.
Hey bro, Trickster, as I said, Trickster theme is quite one of the favorites from fun in the fun. One of the fun favorites. Okay, I'm bad. Best track of the year, and Ilya has cool dreadlocks.
Da da da.
Okay, does it mean that the Crusader cats from Trickster Path are what we're keeping the city free of slimes? Wait, Crusader cat? I just never played the Trickster cats. What? No idea.
I don't know, to be honest. I didn't play a Trickster.
Okay. You said there is a big difference between when evil mythic powers are coming to the Dresden and something in Azata. But what about something like dragon or maybe angel? Is there some at least some differences?
Here is the thing. Like in general, Dresden sounds in chapter 3. It sounds like
just a normal city.
Just a normal city. Yeah. And for angel, sound-wise, it doesn't transform like that drastically, because in Angel Mystic Pass in chapter 5 you have like these angels walking in the city, and that's it, and there is no point to add like, okay, we had an idea, let's add like random choirs, like angelic choirs there, but it would make no sense, and it would
angels just descend in the heart of the city.
Just imagine you walk from the city and somewhere like there is no sense. Why?
Okay, and what about maybe dragon? Is there anything for dragon?
Same thing applies for dragon, because the change that happens to dragon and Dresden appearance when you pick dragon path is that you have these dragon NPCs there, and again they do have dragon sounds, but there is no addition there in terms of like soundscape.
Anything else maybe you want to, because I see you have 2 more videos.
Yeah,
they are not as long, but
they are pretty short.
Let me switch to them. Give me a sec. And you go.
Okay, so
Revener?
yeah. Now we're going to talk about creature sound design. Like, as you know, there are like, I'd say 100+ creatures in our game.
Yeah, a lot.
Like
too much to count.
Yeah, definitely. And in this video, I'm just going to show you how I worked on Ravener sound design. It was like a year and a half ago. I don't even remember it. But I found all the projects, all the originals, and showed it for you.
That's why you stayed up all night.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, get it.
Okay, so before I play the video, let me quickly discuss how we approach sound design with creatures. So whenever animations are done, we go into the editor and make a video out of them. After that, we check in all the available information about the creature, like lore-wise, like where it lives, what kind of like habits it has, what kind of its nature, how we can compare it with real life animals. So we're getting things to get inspiration how we approach
things.
Yeah, and after that we go into DAW, Digital Audio Workstation, where it's a piece of software where we're making sounds, music, whatever. And this is how it looks. So Ravener is a big skeleton dragon. So as you can hear, as you heard, there was like Foley sounds, how we call them. It's like sounds of body movement. Like, for example, the whoosh sound when it cleaves with its claw. And there is also a voice, because voice is the most important thing about creatures, because basically this is what sells it to listener.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
We can make all this cool Foley stuff and so on, but without voice it doesn't feel alive at all. So yeah, we're making Foleys and voices for our creatures, and for each animation we
pitched voice for dragon.
obviously
What?
it has to sound low. Pitch it down.
Low,
like
down.
you're
Pitch it
searching
down.
for, I don't know, let's say lion, and then it sounds like a normal lion, and then you pitch it down to make it sound bigger and more aggressive, and and let's say Ravener has around 20 plus 25 animations, and for each animation we do at least three to five voices and 3 to 5 Foley sounds. And again, every animation
so it's
like 300 files.
100 files for just one creature. But
400 files for one creature.
What? Baby, 25 animations.
Wait a second. When I'm saying Foley for one animation, actually there are way more sounds, because animations can be speed up, and we have to approach every animation modular. So for example, for footstep we have a separate event. For shoulder movement we have separate event and separate sets of sound. And like for wing flapping we have separate sets of sound, and so on and so on and so on. And animations can be different. One animation can be like 3-4 seconds, and another one like a, I don't know, specific cutscene spawn. It can be like 20 seconds. Okay, 20 seconds is too big, but they are different, and there are not like one sound Foley in this animation. There are like multiple events, and each event has its own variation. So we're talking about 300-400 sounds. Basically, this is how look like finished result in a digital audio workstation just before we starting to put sounds into the game.
Okay, let me see. Let me hear.
So separate events for footsteps, for movement, like dying
go
sound, like screams.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds creepy. I used a lot of stones and celery to make it work. And yeah, then we put all the sounds into the audio engine, and then events from audio engine are triggered by animations, and we tag in animations. Like every footstep is tagged manually by sound designer, and after that we make sure that everything works in sync with animation.
It just sounds like a cursed job where you need like do a lot
It takes
of
like 4 days for a creature, I'd say, like 2 or 3 days of sound designing, and at least a day of like implementation, like making sure that everything works as intended. Basically, yeah.
and
depends
then
on,
another
complexity
week
of
for
the
maybe
creature.
some
I
bug
create
reports and so on and so on.
Yeah. Okay, let's see how it sounds in game. And here we trigger on the Foley and voice sounds. There is no effects because I triggered these animations from cutscene just to show you, because otherwise it would be complicated to explain and show. And this is a dead dragon, skeletal dragon, and I hope it sounds like a... Yeah, while I was making this, not a single Ravener has been hurt.
You can hurt the dragon. I don't think it's like a physical.
What does that mean?
Okay.
I do have
And
one more thing to show.
Okay, let me switch to it. I just don't want to maybe show some
If
cyrillic.
people are not tired to listen about all these.
I don't. Man, you listen to this daily for a good, like, what, 5 years? I don't think you are tired of it. Even more, yeah. And...
Yeah, actually, that's my favorite part about sound design in general. It's making like all the magical and spell abilities, all that kind of stuff. And now I'm going to show you my favorite spell that sound design for spell that I made in Wrath of the Righteous. It's Ion. I don't remember the actual name of the spell, but our internal it's like Sphere of Oblivion. But whatever, you'll see visuals, you get it. So, okay, again, we start in DAW and I have a video with the visual effect. And this is how sounds the finished result. So pretty big black hole with like all these little...
With screeching at the beginning when you can hear the matter like twisted and consumed by this.
And there is also I played the ending sound. Whenever this thing stops, like whenever it disappears, there is this sound will be played. And now I'll show you what kind of layers and how it's made basically. As you could see, whenever spell appears, there is a like I don't know how to call it, ball, a thing appear. And
a sphere of energy.
A sphere of energy. And when it explodes, and after that it's like idling in its state when it's open. So the most important thing in this spell is the moment when it explodes and opens up. So we need to make a build-up for it. And in most of cases for spells, we used to start with like impact sounds, and here we also starting with impact sound. But the most important and the loudest point of the spell is the actual moment of explosion, and then the sphere is opening. So let's start with build up, and I'll show you what kind of layers it has. So the build up. So there is an impact, and then it builds up, and then next layers come into play. And yeah, Ilya, do it faster. And that's the most important.
Load kick.
Pretty loud kick. It didn't sound louder than the beginning, but this is just one layer.
Sound.
It will sound way bigger after I add a bit more things.
Though it's just when you paint a thing, you just layer after layer after layer after layer to
the concept is
build up.
the same.
Many layers.
Yeah. So a bit more additions to build-ups and additions to the actual big explosion. And after that, idling sound whenever this thing is just like hanging around. So it starts with a super subtle layers, and I keeps adding until it sounds good, until I believe to what I see in the picture.
I hope that Ilya don't use this cat food, even he lived in his student years. Okay. So you're Musiku. Let us introduce us again. My name is Alex. I'm community manager. Just a talking head. This is Ilya. He's a sound designer from Olka Games. He worked on Wrath of the Righteous mainly. And this is Dima, lead music composer, and you worked both on Kingmaker and on Wrath of the Righteous.
Yes.
So they are smart, cool sound guys, and I just push buttons. Yeah, stream, let's go. So yeah. yeah.
Okay, let me continue because literally there is 1 minute of video that left, and I will.
Let's go. Yeah.
Okay, so and this sound will happen then. This thing disappears in the game. So actually, in the game, it sounds like this. Yeah, for me it sounds like a black hole. And then it disappears. Yep, that's it. Okay, and I'm just going to show you a bit more mythic spells. But basically, to sound designed for mythic spells, we applied the same thing as we applied for music. Every mythic path has its own sonic
Portrait
style.
maybe.
Portrait style, yeah. Basically,
Character.
in Aeon, the main thing is all these stars flying around, and that got me inspiration to use reverse glass for these things. So it has this cosmos magic.
Reverse glass? What?
Like sample of glass breaking, and it's just imagine glass breaks.
Yeah, and then you
and
just
then
reverse
you
it.
reverse it and process it with different plugins, reverbs, delays, and it creates this basically like crystal-like sounds.
It looks like sound, but not as conventional as just broken glass.
Yeah, definitely. And for every other mythic pass, we did the same thing. So, for example, Lich, it's all about
Spooky, scary skeletons.
spooky, scary skeletons, like undead voices, moans, and things like this. And also, it sounds very flashy. Like there is a lot of like
zombie-like
punches.
sounds.
Yeah.
Rotten flesh moving and so
Yeah,
on.
definitely.
So,
same thing applies to Angel, but in opposite direction.
It's
all about
heaven.
heaven, choirs,
Yeah.
and things like this. For Demon, it's also about blood and like.
I think there's a lot of organic sounds in Demon because of the nature of the demons
definitely.
and how they
I
work,
did
how
not
they
work
operate.
on demon spells. I did maybe 1 or 2. I mostly been working on Lich, Angel, Azata, and I did
Maybe Aeon.
Aeon, obviously,
Yeah.
Aeon, because it's my favorite spell.
Maybe.
Legend don't have any
Specific-
unique spells.
yeah, because it's Legend.
is just I don't think this is cool, guys. I
It's
want to
just
be
a guy
I just
who
want to be
doesn't
cool.
give up.
You know, I dropped a few F-bombs here and there before, but not as loud as you are.
Angel be like Doryman.
Yeah.
So the last minute of this video, I just showing my like favorite spells from Mythic Pass that I made. Yep, just take a listen. Maybe it inspires you to play another playthrough with different Mythic Pass. So again, Aeon,
Then again Aeon, and then again
and this one is a Lich spell.
Leech, of course, yeah.
Another Lich spell, Finger of Death, one of my favorite ones. And the coolest is Realm of Death.
It was featured in every single trailer of the game.
Obviously. There is an angel spell. It's like protection from something I do not remember. Angel Bolt of Justice.
Yeah, I remember. Right now I'm playing as Angel. I remember the spell. Yeah.
Some massive AoE cast. I do not remember its name. Trickster, Hellbred.
I sold this game to a lot of my friends.
This is Demon some Storm. I do not remember. Yeah, that's it basically. I did not include obviously every single spell that I work on. It would take ages, but I picked like my favorite ones.
Okay, let me.
Yeah, basically that's it.
I sold a lot of to a lot of my friends. This game I sold with this precise spell, Rain of Hellbreds and golems from that made from beer. Like two of those spells are one of the main selling points for like several of my friends.
That's cool.
So right now we have like maybe 4, like 5, maybe 10 more minutes for maybe answering some questions in chat and just chatting, and then we will wrap up the stream because this is Friday. We want to sleep. We want to sleep mostly. I want to
I definitely want to sleep because I finished making these videos at 5 a.m. last night.
Not like just Dima, who is a disciplined, cool guy who sent his materials yesterday. Like
He
we
sent
screamed.
it even earlier,
Even
but I did not transfer them to you because I was busy. Shame on me.
It's okay. I too lost one of your messages for 2 or 3 days, so it's okay. We all are not as good as Dima. We just need to accept it. Okay. What is the strangest things that you used to make a sound? A cat food, of course. Maybe something else.
Okay, what kind of strange thing I used to make a sound? Like, you probably have seen all these sound design videos that many game studios and sound designers posting, like they're recording some crazy stuff, like
bamboo and so.
dried ice through metal pipe and
Yeah.
it's vibrating. Yeah, I've never done things like that, but 3 times in my life I participated in car recording, like actual cars. We put microphones into the engine
Of the car.
yeah, to the pipe inside the car and near the wheels, and also we recorded all these pass-bys. And the first recording was that was our student project, and we got no like specific track where we could do this, and we recorded these things like in the public places at night.
I don't hope. Okay, I will just skip it. For my own sanity.
We did weird things as a
stuff.
staff
Yeah.
student. You're supposed to be weird and you study
And
weird
what
things.
about you, Dima? I think maybe there is some strange instrument or maybe some strange sound in music or restoration. Maybe in Kingmaker too. You can answer for both of the games.
Strange instrument. For me, this is rock guitars, maybe.
It's not strange.
or synths, hybrid sounds.
Hybrid sounds?
Yeah, sounds hybrid synths, hybrid sounds.
So
This
basically,
is a strange instruments, I think.
Yeah.
For the rest of the righteous, mainly.
And where it was used for what kind of music? For what?
Probably
Demon themes.
Demon
yes,
theme, yeah?
Yes, demon lord themes, or demon theme, evil theme.
Devil.
Devil.
So
Nice.
mix pass demon and devil. Yeah, I got it.
Yes.
I get you.
Or demonic themes.
Yeah.
Strange instruments.
And question for both of you: what inspired you to step for you on sound design path and for you to compose music? Not just in games, but why did you become a composer? What inspired you? What was your goals, or just why? Why do we still here? Just to suffer?
I love my work.
No, it's understandable, but when
I
you,
love
like
projects.
10 years ago, maybe even 12 years ago, why do you start it? What was your reason, if you even remember?
Just I love music. I love to compose music. I love games.
So you...
This is the main reason I love games and love music.
Okay,
I
let me rephrase it. When did you start to compose music? When you were a kid, maybe, or something like that? Or maybe in school, or later in your...
I started to write music in a long time ago.
It was
child.
60s, I remember Reagan, yeah.
I seriously write music on the
For our country it would be
student.
Жизнь реально помнит.
No,
But no,
this
seriously.
is more than 10 years. Когда я был ребенком, я начал писать.
So when you were a
Детстве,
kid, yeah, like 10, like when you're 10 or maybe you're 12 or like maybe 11 years old, you started to
Yes, I create
jerk around.
songs, simple songs, and когда учился в институте, я уже начал более серьезную симфоническую музыку.
So when Dima was studying at university, he started to compose and produce a more serious work, but he started just because he loved it so much in school when he was a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, and like any kid, any starting musician, you started like with simple stuff, songs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you, Ilya?
Here's the thing about most of the
When do you started to mash cat food? When you was 5?
No, actually when I was 20 plus. Here's the funny thing about my profession. Yeah, I started to mess with cat food when I was pretty adult. Okay.
No comments here. Okay.
Okay, the thing about most of the sound designers, how they came to their profession. If you're gonna scratch a sound designer, you will find a musician in its soul and heart. And yes, obviously, I started with music. I started with music then I was 11. I played in Russian folk orchestra. I played on balalaika.
Oh, I played in Russian folk orchestra too. I played on accordion and dombra. This is Russian strings instrument.
Yeah.
I played on saxophone.
Yeah, I know it.
This is
Okay.
our
After that, I've been studying at school that it was school that belonged to a small local theater. And there I decided to continue into college, and I graduated from that college because just don't get me wrong, college in Russia, it's not like college in, I don't know, in the United States. It's a little bit different.
It's like a community college.
Not
Yeah,
like,
community college is like it's like college in Russia, like
not
for poor people.
I wouldn't call it because my school was pretty good. It was theatrical college.
Okay.
Okay, so it's basically like a high school.
Alternative high school.
Alternative high school.
More specialized
More
high school.
specialized, yeah. And I graduated from there as an actor for musical theater. I've been singing, dancing, and all these things. So musical.
Any videos?
Don't even ask me about this.
But please.
Okay,
Later
yes,
at night.
I do have these videos, and actually I've been doing this kind of things till I was 21. Yeah, basically music was in my life since I was like really small kid. And like then I was 16, 17, I played in multiple rock groups, doing concerts, writing songs, like pretty regular
I
stuff.
play in rock group too.
That's
On guitars, drums.
yes, that's the thing. I think almost every musician, sound designer, and any sound guy went through this process, like groups,
bands,
things like this. And after that,
Folk music, of course.
Yeah, this is how it started. And after that, I just wasn't quite sure that I wanted to go and follow like actor and musical actor path. And since I was playing in groups, someone had to manage all this technical stuff with microphones, mixers, and things like that. This is how I started to get into like technical
side of things.
Yeah. And I realized that I really liked it, and I went studying sound engineering. And during
Кстати, тоже инженером в домах культуры.
Yeah.
У нас много общего.
Естественно.
Let me translate. Dima said that they have a lot of common because Dima also worked as a sound designer for what? Can you repeat?
It's not like
Dome of Culture.
sound operator, like sound technician.
I work on the sound engineer in concert halls.
Yeah, concert hall. Yeah, it's
yeah.
a good word. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and after that, on third course, I just we got a subject, a class about sound designing, like actual making new sounds, and that got really inspired me. And till that point, I had no idea that I actually wanted to do this. I tried this. We got an assignment to take a small part of a film, delete original sound, and remade it entirely by yourself. This is how it started for me.
Anything that was saved by the end of time, maybe?
Yes, there are a lot of things saved, but some of them are not to be shown. Because
I am so interested. You can't believe how interested I am in this stuff.
I work in cinema too. I work in big cinema in Russia. There's Russian comedies. create orchestration.
As a musician
As
or
a composer,
As orchestrator, as orchestrator and as composer.
there is a couple Russian people in chat, so maybe you can name a few movies that you worked on. They can, I think they can, remember those movies.
Держи удар, детка. This is
That would be hard to translate.
take shot.
Yeah.
No. Keep it hard, baby.
Take a hit, baby, something
Yeah,
like
take a
that.
hit, baby.
Russian cinematography, yeah.
Russian comedy. Там, кстати, снималась Самбурская, Верник, Пореченков.
Yeah, pretty big names in terms
I
of...
have no idea. I'm from another country as well, so I have no idea.
Like, in general, they're decently famous in Russia. These actors that
Yes,
Dima mentioned.
this is a very famous actors in Russia.
Не пали, тут нет русских. And remember, no Russian.
Poker face. Where is your poker face? I do not see it.
Yeah, I'm bad at poker. I lost like $50 to Oleg like 2 months ago in poker, so I will never play his. Oleg is like a CEO of All Cat Games and head of the studio, and he managed to sneak out a lot of money from me in poker. So yeah, never again. Never again. No, I think there is nothing more in chat, so I think we can wrap up the whole thing. It was a pleasure to have you today, Ilya, Dima. Thank you a lot.
Thank you.
We will upload this stream on YouTube later next week. So if you missed some of the parts, I think you can catch up later. And as of now, we are ending. But don't forget that next week there will be another special guest. Yulia from Game Design will come and talk about
There is
some.
Pavel Perepelitsa in chat. Hey, Pasha.
Юлия Черненко.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will not read this phrase. I'm sorry, but no.
Yeah.
But yeah, hi Pavel. So yeah, Yulia will come by next week. You guys, thanks for coming. Viewers, thank you for spending time with us. I hope we will see Ilya more. Maybe.
We'll see. It depends.
Yeah, it's more like I'm ransoning you right now, but
Yeah.
fingers crossed. And I hope, and I truly hope it's not the last time we'll have you as a guest. Maybe later, after JLCs or down the line, we'll have you maybe one more time or two more times.
Yeah.
So
There
yeah.
are big things down the line. I'm joking, come on.
So yeah, for now, thank you and goodbye.
Bye.